is position BPO as digitally superior talent with continually changing trend. For this, I would like to invite Mr. Rituparn Bakshi, Head Quality, Process Excellence and CX from Omega Healthcare Management Services. Mr. Rituparn has more than 30 years of experience having worked with TechM, Sutherland, HGS and several other companies. Over to you, sir.
Hi, everyone. Hi. Yeah. So the topic on which I have to talk today, or I'll be talking today, is the title of the topic is positioning BPO as a digitally superior talent with continuously changing trends. So yeah, sure. Yeah. So let me start. I'll start with a project which I think most of you, or I think every one of you would be aware of. This was called a hole in the wall project. This was, again, let me tell you why I'm saying this. So I'll be talking of a few things, and as I talk through those few things, I will try to bring them all together in the last couple of slides. So there will be 2 or 3 different things I'll be talking about, topics I'll be talking about, so that we can understand more about this particular topic that we are discussing today. So the first topic is on learning, and there is a reason why I have put this slide and why I'm explaining this. Let me take you through this slide, and then maybe you'll be able to understand and correlate the topic with what I'm presenting. So this was a project which was done in 1999 by Subrata Mitra. What he did is in Kalkaji, Delhi, he placed a computer in the walls, inside the wall of Kalkaji slum area, and he just put it there along with mouse, monitor, internet connection and everything else. And he left it there, and there were cameras through which they were recording what was happening. Small children from the neighborhood slum areas, they came and they started playing with the computer. Soon what they found is that the children had started to learn how to use internet. They were able to browse, download files, play videos and so on. So there was a significant improvement in their computer literacy in just 3 months, and there was no instructor. They did not know what they were doing, what they were playing with, and they could do a lot with the computer by just discovering this on their own. Over the next decade, Sugata, he continued his research. It was continued in various ways and various formats. He also called it minimally invasive education. Again, I'll talk about why I'm mentioning and talking about this. Some of the key observations here, or some of the key reasons that Sugata discovered throughout his experiments over a decade, was this is how learning was happening in the children. So the first stage is that there were children who were coming to the computer, they were just moving the mouse, doing various things, and there appeared to be a tendency of the children who know something, who have learned something, to show it off to others. So that was one thing which was observed. Once a child discovered a feature, others around them also got excited, and they also started creating their own vocabulary because they were not aware. So in the Kalkaji slums, the cursor which was there, they called it sui, which is in Hindi needle. Similarly, damru was what they called, obviously, the save icon which was showing. So they discovered their own terminology. They created their own terminology, common language between them, and 6 months there was another milestone when these children could be called computer literate, and there was no incentive for them. There was no reward given to them. It was just something which was kept over there, and children were allowed to learn. What also happened is children got divided into knows and not knows, just like haves and not haves. But what they found over here is that the knows, people who know, for the sake of friendship, they would share knowledge with their other friends, and everyone would learn together, all the children would learn together. They also saw that there was some seeding required, which is once a skill was mastered, or really, I would say not really mastered, but people reached a plateau in terms of learning, you needed some new seeding to be done. For example, telling them, hey, you can also play videos on this computer, and then let them explore and go about it. So some seeding was also done as part of this. I'll just quickly flip to the workspace of today here. In the interest of time, given that I have around 15 minutes to cover this. So how can we relate this to what is happening in our BPO environments when we are talking of various job levels, various agents, managers, directors, etc., etc. So what is the similarity between this and this? Would anybody want to kind of say what they see as similarity between the 𝗘𝗂𝗺𝗃 experiment and our BPO environment? Anyone? Yeah. So I think we all understand that there appears to be similarity between that and what is happening in the agent environment here, especially in our BPOs here. One thing which at least I could observe when going through this case study was that it is not that we are rewarding success. It is not that we are rewarding learning. We are removing obstructions and resistance to learning. So I think that, in my view, is something important. In the BPO environment, many times agents don't learn or do not try to learn new things and new technologies and new things not because they don't want to learn, but because we have created resistances which prevent them from learning. It is human nature to learn and to continuously evolve. It is hard-coded, and it is only because we are not creating the supportive environment and providing the supportive resources that there is resistance to learning. So that, in my view, is one learning which we should keep in mind. And I'll again come to why I'm saying this. I'll come to this as we move through a few more slides. The second point over here when it comes to the BPO environment is the culture. So again, that is similar to what I talked a few minutes back, which is we have to create an environment which is conducive to learning, which means that it removes obstacles and resistances to learning. These may be social obstacles, social pressures, expectations. We expect agents to do only this. We do not expect agents to do anything other than that. And that unsaid expectation with the users, with the agents, does dictate and direct their behavior. So those are all resistances to learning where we are putting artificial barriers for users and for agents to learn, rather than giving them an open space and a culture where they can expand their learning. This may or may not include time. So we all know that schedule adherence is important. We all know there is always a pressure on calls or transactions. Productivity is a challenge and will continue to be important. But again, providing that space and culture is important, because if we do that, people will even stretch beyond their normal work day, and they will still be wanting to learn, because that is what humans are hard-coded to do, as long as we are removing the obstacles. I'm talking of rewards and seeding over here. So rewards may be necessary initially to kickstart an activity before intrinsic motivation takes over. And again, seeding is the various interventions that will, in order to promote and to start the learning process. And again, these are all 2 or 3 things are the contexts, and I'll come to how that relates to the topic once I complete this basic contextual slides. So the first context we talked about was the one which is on the top, which is the experiment of self-directed learning. The second is what I'm talking about, giving a similar kind of environment to our agents, and we'll talk about why and what we are talking about. So this is again a takeaways from the previous 2 or 3 slides, and these are reasonably, I think, self-explanatory, irrespective of the process, whether it is a tech process where people want to learn new technologies, they like talking new jargons, or whether it is a customer service process where people do not like to do that, or people are not doing that, agents are not doing that. In either of the cases, as long as we create the environment, learning should become addictive, for lack of a more positive word. So learning should be fun for everyone, provided we are creating the right environment. And again, as I said, I'll come to the more specific context here. Seeding, and this grows exponentially. So it will grow exponentially not only in space, so to say, which means in terms of people, but it will also, starting from a small group of people to the whole organization, no, not only there, but it will also grow exponentially over a period of time, because the agents will become team leaders, the team leaders will become managers, the managers will become directors, and so on. So people who are technically, digitally aware, literate from the word go, whichever level they join in, it will only be beneficial and exponentially beneficial to the organization in the long run as these people grow. Right. I'll pause here before I go to the next few slides. Any questions or any thoughts from anyone? Sure. So again, I will not go into the details here, but there is this is a 2022 study, last year study, which does show that the BPO industry is poised for a 8.9% CAGR. In 2022, it was $261 billion with various, which is the market size of various verticals like BFSI, healthcare, manufacturing, IT, retail, etc. So the takeaway from this slide, at least for me, was that enterprises across the world will keep on focusing on agility, will keep on focusing on efficiency. They are doing it now, and this is only going to accelerate. There will also continue to be, as it is even now, continued pressure on operating costs of the enterprises. They would like to focus on their core competencies. So things are going to get busy for the clients, for the enterprises, and that should mean possibility of business increase for us. And if we are able to scale to higher and higher level in terms of our abilities, in terms of our capabilities, this size will only grow. So right now, this size is based on what we are doing today, but if we can do something more tomorrow, more and more bigger space and market will open up for exploration. Now, within the environment of the clients, within the environment of the enterprises, technology is already taking precedence, and even in the mind space of the executives, mind space of the C-suites, technology is something which is, technology is something which we cannot call as a fad of the day. It is not something which is a fad, it is here to stay, and it will only accelerate, as we all know, especially after coming of artificial intelligence. Things will change, and it is always better that we be ready for it. Yeah. I'll move to the next slide here. So this slide, again talking of the market, this is all the external environment I'm talking about. The previous slide is also about the external opportunity, external environment. This is also about external environment and a little bit about our internal capabilities that we may want to look at. I'm calling in the bottom, I'm calling them future BPOs, but actually this is required from even present clients from us. That is what they expect from us. As we move forward in a very short span of time, technology and AI will be omnipresent. I'm using the word omnipresent in a very Okay, I'm using the word omnipresent. It may not rhyme with what you're saying, but I had a reason why I mentioned this word omnipresent. So technology and AI will be everywhere. It will also be in the minds of the C-suites. Everyone will talk that, and vendors and suppliers who talk technology and who are able to convert their thoughts into successful implementations, they will definitely be not just liked but loved by various clients. And which is happening even now. Efficiency is always relative. Things will keep on becoming more and more efficient. What is efficient today may no longer be considered efficient tomorrow. And I think we all understand what I'm saying here. Technology and AI is going to be there. Organizations which have such a culture will thrive, and it is an efficient, standardized, error-free processes which will take precedence, because at the end of the day, it's about people and it is about processes. Technology is also in a way a process. So it's all about people and how can we standardize and make everything more and more efficient. It is about manufacturing, which has gone through a automation revolution. Office space will also go through office automation. And the last bullet here, which is in the green color here, is transformation without empowered employees, without aware employees, is two dots doomed. So if we think that we are going to have a development team and have a few consultants and that is it, I think we'll soon know that that is not the best thing to do. I'll try to walk through the slides very quickly, the remaining 2 or 3 slides. So client expectations even today are this: all new deals, new enterprise outsourcing contracts, everyone is asking for transformation as a part of the right away, right? They want skin in the game, they want transformation goals committed right now at the stage of getting a deal. Now, whether we do it or not, ultimately it will impact our profitability as we go forward in the next couple of years in that client relationship. But they are asking for it even right now. Competition will ensure survival of the fittest, will ensure that people will move in that direction very quickly. Client CX, it is CX, customer expectation. They will definitely look upon employees and upon companies, about vendors who are digitally savvy. They are doing that even now. They will love those companies, those contractors, those vendors who are not only able to transform the outsourced processes, but also provide consulting and professional services to transform their own processes back in their home countries. And the future is now. All of this is already happening. We also know, at the same time, we also know that 70% of transformations fail. And the art to transform, the art of implementing transformation, it's a competitive advantage today and will continue to be in the future. I have just looked last 2 slides. Why should we have digitally literate and expert employees? Why should the agents and users be digitally literate? One reason, of course, is because they are closest to the process. What they see, most of the people cannot see. What inputs they can give, if they are digitally aware, are inputs which are just not possible to get in large organizations. In a small process, yes. But when we are talking of a large organization, there has to be, knowledge has to be democratic. We can't work with a few digitally savvy senior team members. Empathy, design thinking, even when we are doing empathy research, design thinking research, or design thinkers, catalysts are doing that, it is always beneficial to have employees who are digitally aware. It makes a lot of sense. And the second part of this, I'll quickly close here, is the first part is they are the ones who can give inputs and ideas which no one else can. The second is any new technology which is introduced has to be adopted by them. So if we are talking of training, for example, yes, we are doing training. We have given them the tools for doing remote training. But again, unless and until they are motivated to learn, explore, use the various functionalities, it will not happen. Managers will not train their training leads or trainers. So training managers will not train the training lead trainers, and the trainers will not explore all the capabilities which the tools have. So again, it's not only about metrics and driving metrics, it is also about how willing people are to explore beyond the summary which the metrics lead to. Leaders and managers, again, we'll move here, but again, all of this is something, everyone, professional services, we should have, again, all the companies now are building professional services and your consulting teams in line with what we talked in the previous slide. And then this is where this all is coming together. This is the last slide. The title of the topic was that we should position India and BPOs from India as digitally superior. However, positioning and capability are both sides of the same coin. If there is only positioning and no capability, that coin will not be valuable, and the other way around. If there is capability but we don't position it, then again it is opportunity lost. So again, it has to go side by side. Positioning is an art again, apart from science, but then there is capability also which needs to go with it, so that the positioning can be really done convincingly. And again, the mission of every organization today should be now looking into the future. It should be to have digital employees, which should be one of the clear missions for them in order to survive and thrive in the future. So that is all I wanted to talk about today. Any questions, anyone? Sure, thanks.
Thank you, Rituparn sir.